everybody, welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to make Polish pierogi dough. We need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, or 14 ounces, a half a cup of whole milk, half a cup of sour cream, 1 egg large, 2 teaspoons melted butter, unsalted, and a half teaspoon of table salt. So we're going to start off. I'm going to add all of our liquid ingredients to 1 container and we're going to whisk it together. So what I have on my table is my mise en place. Mise en place means put in place. And we have everything already measured out and in place, ready to go, along with our tools. So before I'm gonna add in the egg, I am gonna just break it up a little bit. Makes it easier to mix everything together. And then we can add it into this bowl, which already has our milk, sour cream, and melted butter. I'm just going to gently whisk this together. All right, that's completely whisked together, and now we're going to take our 14 ounces of all-purpose flour, put them in a large bowl, and now I'm going to add in my half teaspoon of table salt, and we just want to stir this together. So we're just going to stir it together, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a well. Okay, we're going to create a well in the center of our flour. So just some of that out, and into the well we pour in our liquid ingredients. I'll just whisk that up before I pour it in, like this, and then we're going to start to mix it together until it forms a dough. So I'm just going to use the spatula. I'm just going to stir this around. So I've been stirring this for about a minute and it's coming together now. And once it starts to come together as a dough, we're going to keep stirring it till all of the flour comes off the sides of the bowl, and then we're going to work it on the table. So we're going to knead it and we're going to put it on our work table. So I'm going to get a little bit of flour and we're going to dust the table with flour, and then we're going to dump our dough out and give it a good kneading. Here's our dough, and I've got the floured surface. Make sure you get some flour in your hands too, it's very sticky. All right, and we're just gonna work this. This is called kneading. I'm gonna push it forward with the palm of my hand, and I fold it back over. And if it's too wet, you might wanna add even more flour. Okay, so I'm gonna push it forward, the palm of my hand, fold it back over, turn, and keep doing this. We're developing the gluten while we do this, and gluten are the strands of protein in the flour that will make this strong. We need that developed in the pierogi dough because you want the dough strong enough to hold all of our filling inside the pierogi. So we have to knead this, and this is going to take me about 8 minutes. All right, so I'll show you what it looks like after I've been doing this for about 8 minutes. There we go. I've been kneading it for about 8 minutes, and it's still a little sticky, but you see how it looks very stretchy now, very rubbery, elasticy. This is what we're looking for, and that will help keep our pierogi dough nice and strong when we roll it out, and we'll hold in our filling. So I'm gonna let this sit for an hour before I start using it. So I'm gonna put a bowl over the top of it, and then just leave it at room temperature and let it rest for 1 hour, and then we can use it to make our pierogis. Here we have our peeled Yukon gold potatoes, and we need 1.5 pounds, which is about 3 large ones. I already measured it. And we're gonna cut these into 1-inch cubes. So you cut the potato into about 1-inch thick slices. Then we cut long strips. And then you can rotate it and cut the cubes. We want them all around the same size, so that way they will cook evenly in the pot. Once they're cut, keep them in the cold water so they don't oxidize until you're finished cutting the rest. So here we have our Yukon gold potatoes, and they have been boiling for 8 minutes, and I already tested them with a knife. They're fork tender, so I'm going to take them out of the water, and then we're going to mash them up. Here we have the drained Yukon gold potatoes, and they are nice and tender. Our cheese, salt, pepper. So we're going to put this in here, and then we're going to add in our cheese, salt, and pepper, and we're going to mash it with our potato masher. until it's nice and smooth. I'll get that added in. So put this down, keep mushing it, stirring it together. Here is our finished filling. Our Yukon Gold potatoes, salt, pepper, and the cheddar cheese. And now I'm gonna portion them. So this is done, and I have my handy dandy small tablespoon size cookie scoop. I'm gonna pack it in, scoop it on here, and I'm just gonna do this until it's all done. And then that way they're ready to go for when I'm making the pierogi. So get that portioned out, put it in the refrigerator to chill, and then I can roll out the pierogi dough, stuff them, boil them, pan sear them, serve them with our beautiful caramelized onions and some sour cream, and enjoy. All right, so here's our dough, our pierogi dough, and I'm just gonna roll a nice log, and then we're gonna divide it. And you wanna divide this so that way we can roll small circles and stuff the pierogi. So to make it more manageable, I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, and then we're going to roll this nice long log. Try to get 24 portions out of the dough, okay? So I'm going to divide this in half. All right, so if we divide it in half, and then that in a half, and a half, and a half, and again, and then this will yield 24. Yeah. All right, so once you get a nice small amount, we're gonna roll it into a ball, make it easy to work with. It starts sticking to your hands, just put a little more flour on it. We're going to roll it out into a circle. Coat the rolling pin with a little bit of flour. Alright, so we want to get a nice circle. So you keep rotating your rolling pin. And then we're going to put our filling, which is our mashed potato, cheddar cheese. We already portioned them into individual amounts. We're going to put that right in the center. And we're just going to bring this up and over. Okay. You can sort of squish the filling down so it's not circle, more like a torpedo shape. And then we're going to crimp with a fork so that seals the pierogi. Like that. So once I make a whole bunch of these, then we're going to boil them, and then we can pan sear them in butter, olive oil, and serve it with some sour cream and caramelized onions. Here we have our finished pierogi, and now I have some boiling water with a little bit of salt in it. And our frying pan, I already have it on heat, so it's going to be warm, ready to use. And we're just going to add in our pierogi, and we're going to cook them in the boiling water until they come to the top. It should take about a minute or two. I'll get those in, try to make sure they're not touching so they don't stick together. There we go. And as soon as they come to the top, I'm going to put them into the frying pan. So while that's working, I'm going to get some butter into our frying pan. So about half tablespoon of butter, half tablespoon of olive oil. Get that. We're going to pan sear pierogi as soon as they come out. Okay, so this one has floated to the top. So I'm going to remove it with a slotted spoon. I'm going to drain off the excess water just a little tiny bit. And I'm going to add it into our butter and oil. And this one's come to the top. Same thing, repeat. Put that one in there. And this one's floating to the top. Yeah, they all started floating around the same time. That one in. So there we go. Now we're getting some color on them. There we go. Now I've got this beautiful golden brown color on both sides. I'm going to take them out. And, came open a little bit. Get them on the plate. And then we are to garnish it. We're going to put some sour cream and our caramelized onions. And this is going to look so good. Here are our finished pierogi with caramelized onion, a little bit of sour cream. And the filling is our Yukon gold potatoes mashed with cheddar cheese. There you can see the cheese coming right out. And let's try this to see how good it is. So I've got a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of those onions together, and give it a try. That is so good. It's wonderful. All right, so just to finish up our recipe, this was our Polish pierogi dough. 13 ounces of all-purpose flour, or 3 cups, a half cup of whole milk, a half a cup of sour cream, 1 large egg, 2 teaspoons of melted butter, a half teaspoon of salt, and then our filling we made with 1.5 pounds of Yukon gold potatoes, 4 ounces of extra sharp cheddar cheese. Originally when I made it, I had 6 and it was way too much, but 4 ounces is fine. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a pinch of black pepper, and caramelized onions. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll make these at home.